to the New Japan Pro Wrestling 2020 New Japan Cup Night 5 review and Night 6 preview. Thank you for joining me. I just watched wrestling. I'm gonna watch more of it. Let's talk about it. Pa! And with that, the first two quarterfinal matches in New Japan Cup 2020 are set, and the road to getting there was a lot of fun. Both of the first round shows on this side of the bracket were really enjoyable, and this second round show, Night 5, was probably my favorite show of the Cup so far. Just front to back, the matches were varied and unique, and the pacing of the show was just beautiful, and yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I think it was really well done, and it's just the kind of show that you want to watch in this no fan era of wrestling, where it just flies by and it's just a great time to watch. So I'll get started. The first match was Ishimori versus Kanemaru. Match 13, 14, 15 or something like that in their rivalry. And yeah, Ishimori picks up his first singles victory over Kanemaru. It was a short 10-11 minute match, and it just was paced really well. Kanemaru attacked Ishimori during his entrance and just worked over the leg for probably 7-8 minutes until Ishimori turned things around and countered the deep impact. There was a really cool spot where Kanemaru swigged and Ishimori covered his mouth, and it was extra, but I really enjoyed it. Kanemaru choked on it and then had to try to fight back and no-sell it, and Ishimori took advantage, countering the deep impact and hitting the Bloody Cross for the win. Yeah, it was a really, really good match. Both of these guys are just super solid in the ring. I really enjoyed seeing Ishimori play more of the babyface role. I think it's something that in the future they could explore more. I do think that his role in the Bullet Club is fine and good, and it doesn't need to be changed necessarily now, but in the future, Ishimori showed in this match that he can really play the face well. Yeah, just overall, super solid match. Flew by, felt really good. Yeah, I think it could have been a 4-star match if it would have had more time, but for what it was, I loved it for what it was, and I'll go 3.5 stars on it. Next up was, what was next? It was Makabe versus Ishii. This was exactly what you'd expect it to be. It was just super hard hitting, super consistent selling from both of them throughout, and it didn't overstay its welcome. And just like the previous match, it just flew by. It was a lot of fun. Besides one botch in the middle of the match where Ishii went for a strike while Makabe was on the top rope and missed, or Makabe countered. I couldn't really tell what happened. It was just, I don't know if it was just the camera angle or if it really was just a botch. Other than that, it was just a clean, really well executed match by both guys. Makabe isn't the most interesting wrestler in the world in 2020, but Ishii is, and he can work a match with anyone. Not that Makabe isn't like a solid hand in the ring, but Ishii gets the best out of everyone, and he did so here. This is my favorite Makabe match in a while for sure. I'll go 3.5 stars on it. The lariats were stiff, and yeah, just a lot of fun to watch. Their exchanges in the middle of the ring. Yeah, just that classic strong style. Then we had the tag match. I took a shower during the tag match. I have no idea what happened, so check it out for yourselves, ladies and gents. Third, we had Hiromu versus Yano. Hiromu comes out in a hard hat, and he looks super paranoid, so they did go forward with the angle that Hiromu was legitimately terrified of Yano, which, as we got into this match, we realized was a totally fair thing to feel, because Yano came out like a total fiend trying to cut Hiromu's hair off, which is a bad thing to do. You shouldn't do that. And Yano was trying to do it, and Hiromu didn't want him to do it, so he had the hard hat on, and he was running away, and he was scared. He took a couple of opportunities to get some offense in, but for the most part, this was just a comedy match in its purest form, and I thought it was super enjoyable. I honestly wish it would have gone a little longer. I could have watched them do this kind of stuff back and forth for probably 5 or 10 more minutes. But I enjoyed it for what it was. Yano cut a piece of Hiromu's hair off, and it kind of snapped Hiromu, and Hiromu ended up tying Yano's legs up and putting tape around his eyes and throwing him into the elevator and sending him to the first floor, and Yano got counted out, so They used the angle from the tag match the previous night to play into this, which is always nice to see. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun. Hiromu, the way that he expressed his fear of Yano at the beginning of the match was really funny and really enjoyable. And I just really liked the direction they took with this match. I'm glad they didn't have them sit in the ring and try to wrestle for 10 minutes for no reason. We all knew what the purpose of this match was, and they didn't mess around with it. They just got right to it. And yeah, Hiromu wins via countout, continuing to move him on while protecting the heavyweight dynamic. We'll see how that goes in the next round against Ishii. I'll go... It's so hard to rate a match like this, but I had a great time, and I thought the finish was hilarious. It's one of my favorite finishes to do a wrestling match in a while, so I'm going to say 3 3/4. If you think that makes me lose credibility, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, but I had a good time. And then, in the main event, was Okada versus Nagata. This was a great match, exactly what you'd expect from one of the all-time greats versus the current best in the world. It built slowly, like all Okada matches do, but just how Okada always does it. The slow builds are still entertaining. They're never something that makes you want to look away. It all makes sense in the end. Everything is building to something. Everything is meaningful and logical. It never feels like the action is wasted. That was the same here. Nagata ended up firing up and landing some strikes in on Okada in the midway point of the match. And from those stiff shots forward, it was just a whole lot of fun, back and forth. Nagata hit a release suplex off the top rope and started to gain some momentum. Hit a Saito, slow to make the cover though, and Okada kicked out. And then down the stretch, he went for the Saito suplex multiple more times, locked in the label lock. But in the end, Okada was too strong, and even though as the match progressed, I was getting convinced more and more that maybe Nagata was going to do this whole miracle upset. But in the end, yeah, Okada's too strong. He locks in the Cobra Clutch, and Nagata struggles for about a minute, but ends up tapping out reluctantly to it. Whenever he first locked the Cobra Clutch in, I kind of knew it was going to be the end of the match, and I was kind of disappointed just because Okada didn't look like he was really putting a whole lot of will into that submission move. But Okada ended up wrenching back on it and leaning back into it, and it actually ended up looking really brutal, and I think it's a really interesting and useful addition into Okada's repertoire, and I'm glad, even though I wish Nagata would have gotten out of it and they would have built into some more drama and a couple more minutes into a finishing stretch, I understand completely why they did that. They got to build this submission move up for Okada. That's purposeful, I'm sure. There's going to be a moment in a match later on when Okada locks it in the middle of the ring and we think it's over. And it's going to be a great near fall or near end to the match. And so it will pay off. So even though my heart says, I wish Nagata would have got out of that, I wish that would have been more dramatic at the end, my head says that that's a smart thing to do to build up that move, because if Gato's the only person that's getting put away by that move, it really doesn't legitimize it much. But yeah, it was still a really, really fun match, and there was plenty of drama at the end. I just think it really could have built to something really, really special. Instead, it ends, and Okada wins with the Cobra Clutch, but still, really fun match. Just barely 4 1/4. I almost just want to go 4 stars on it, but I'm trying to think more with my head and realize that the reasoning behind the ending was logical and smart, and it's going to pay off eventually. And so with that in mind, I'll go 4 1/4. So yeah, that was night 5. I think overall, it's my favorite show of the bunch. I'll go 8 out of 10 on it. It definitely, again, lacked that complete certified banger of a match that was Nagata Suzuki, but the main event was still a lot of fun, and the whole show, like I said, everything felt like its own thing. None of the matches blended together. Everything felt separate, and each match was different enough to entertain and in its place in the show. And I just thought it was super enjoyable overall. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for night 5, and yeah, I'm back on the horse. I'm excited for the rest of this cup. Nights 3 and 4 were just a little bit of a slow thing for me. I wasn't super into either night, but this has me back excited for the rest of this tournament. With that being said, I'll preview night 6. I'm not expecting night 6 to live up to the heights set by this night 5, but we'll see what happens. So first of all, we have Ibushi versus Taichi. I get why they went with this. It's a new match. It feels more fresh than Tanahashi's ESJ, but I'm not super interested in this match. The way Taichi went over Tanahashi so dominantly, it just doesn't make me feel like they're really going to go for those Taichi pulling out the best out of himself kind of situations that we get sometimes. I kind of think that he's really going to play the heel strong, and I think this match is going to be more of a straightforward thing either way. And also, I just don't think that the result of this match matters much. I think that they're using the top portion of this bracket just to build towards a tag match at Dominion, which is fine. It's a useful way to use a tournament, or at least a portion of a tournament. But yeah, it just kind of creates an uninteresting environment as far as in the tournament as a whole. So I'm not super invested in the winner of this match. I think I'll go Taichi with my prediction, like 51-49. I think that this is a complete coin flip. I just think maybe it makes more sense to give Taichi the win over Ibushi and have the heels continue to gain momentum going into the tag match at Dominion. And as far as star rating, I'll say I'm expecting 3.25. I'm not super into Ibushi's matches as much as most, unless I think he really has the right opponent. I think his matches just kind of feel all the same, and they kind of all just blend together to me. I know that might be a bad take. Fair if you think that, but not that I don't think Ibushi's a great wrestler or anything. I just think that unless he has the right guy to go against, or the right scenario, or the right story to really grasp onto, his matches can kind of just become monotonous. And I think this is just going to blend in and be another Ibushi match that's going to be fun to watch in the moment, but it's not going to leave any lasting impact or any lasting feelings. Unless they want to bring Dangerous T out and they want to have a really hard-hitting, strike-heavy match, then it could be a 4-star match, but I'm just not expecting that, so 3.25. Then we have Sonata versus Sho, next to what I believe is going to be the main event, which I'll get to. I think this match has the highest ceiling. Sonata's almost definitely going to win, so it doesn't have a whole lot of unpredictability going with it. But I just think that they're going to want to continue Sho momentum after picking up that win against Shingo and make him look really strong and competitive against Sonata. Both of these guys are really talented and have fun matches, so I'm excited for it for sure. We'll see what happens. Sho could definitely, not definitely, Sho has a chance to maybe keep running here. They want to just go a different direction, but I just think this is Sonata's bracket to win for sure. And I think in the end, Sonata will go over in fairly straightforward fashion. Sho will look strong, but Sonata's going to hit the moonsault or lock in the skull end, and I think that it's going to be it for Sho's run of this tournament. But he got what he needed out of it. He got his win over Shingo, and that's what this was about for him. So, yeah, I'll go Sonata, 95% sure on that. I just feel like putting Sho over Sonata as well would be a big push for Sho, really out of the blue, which just would be out of character for New Japan. I'm expecting 3.75 out of this. I think that it could be as high as 4, and it could be as low as like 3.5, 3.25. But I'll go 3.75. I think it's going to be fun. I just think that if I had more belief that Sho could win, maybe it could create a more dramatic setting for the match. But just don't see it that way. So it's not over Sho, 95.5, and 3.75 is my expectation. Then we have Yoshihashi versus Bushi. Whatever. I don't know what to say about this match. It's just a match that's going to happen. Maybe they'll surprise me. I am a fan of Bushi. I want to be a fan of Yoshihashi, but like I said in my last review, there's nothing that's ever given to us to grasp onto, so it's just hard to get excited about his matches. I'm sure they're going to go out there and put on a solid match. I'm not expecting it to just be completely overwhelmingly terrible or anything like that. I just don't have any interest, and I feel pretty certain that the winner of this is just going to fall in the next round. So it just kind of feels the same as the Ibushi Taichi match, where the result of this match doesn't matter too much. Maybe I'm underselling Yoshihashi's chances in this. Maybe they want to give him this push all of a sudden, but yeah, similarly to Sho, it just would be out of character for New Japan to do something like that. I think this is Evil or Goto's bracket, and it's going to come down to that. So I'll go Yoshihashi 70-30. I do think Bushi has a solid chance to pick up the upset, but I'll stick with the safe bet and go Yoshihashi. And I'm expecting 3 stars out of this. Nothing more, nothing less. Maybe it could really become disjointed like some of their matches do each individually. They sometimes just have botch-filled, disjointed, chaotic, just kind of messy matches. And I think this could devolve into that worst case scenario, but most likely they'll just open the show and go out and have a solid 10-minute match, and it'll be nothing to be mad about. It'll just be not super interesting. So 3 stars is my expectation. And then the match that I'm really looking forward to on this show is Evil Goto. These are 2 of the best brawler-style guys in the company, in a company full of a bunch of really, really great strong-style guys. These 2 just stick out to me. Evil for his character work and Goto for just his super consistent in-ring work. Yeah, and they're going to have a great match. I don't have much doubt about that. I'm super looking forward to it. I don't really know what else to say about this match. Similarly to whenever I previewed Makabe Ishii, I think we know what it's going to be. It's going to be hard-hitting. It'll get ugly whenever Evil wants to make it get ugly, like always, but in the end it's going to be super interesting, and it's super, super, super unpredictable in my opinion. I do think, just after seeing Evil close the show on night 3 and the backstage comments that he gave, it's convinced me that I think Evil is just the more interesting guy to move forward, and he feels like the guy that, matching up against Sonata in the eventual semifinal, that would feel more interesting, more compelling, and more unpredictable than Goto versus Sonata. But if Goto wins this, I won't be complaining, and I won't be shocked at all. I'll go Evil 60-40, and I'm expecting a solid 4-star match to this. I think it could really end up stealing the show and maybe even stealing the tournament and getting up there into the heights of Nagata Suzuki, but I don't think there's anybody better suited for open arena matches than Suzuki. So in my mind, this is going to be solid, but not quite as great as that Nagata Suzuki match. So 4 stars. With that being said, thank y'all for joining me for this video. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I'll see ya for a video maybe in the next few days. Maybe I'll think of something to do. If not, I'll see you for the review of Night 6 next week, next Wednesday. It's going to be a long week waiting for it, but it'll be here before we know it. Thanks for watching, y'all. Love you.